Hey, Apprentice Squad! Welcome to another live stream. I'm getting Instagram live on as well. I'm going to try to do both simultaneously here, so hopefully that works out. Okay, we're live here too. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Apprentice Squad, what's up? We're doing a live stream. I'm talking to both people on YouTube and on Instagram at the same time. Maybe I should move this over here so that kind of facing more the same direction. Anyway, super excited. Hey, we've got the Chosen One 95 joined. How's it going? What's up? And then over here on YouTube, we've got Yonolith, Leia. Hey, how's it going, guys? April. Shielded Bear Cosplay. What's up, John? All right. Paulino looks like was on for a bit. If he's still on, hey, how's it going? And yeah, today we're going to be working on the Mandalorian helmet. It's coming along really well. I'm super excited about how it's looking. And we're going to be doing the earpiece stuff today. So I've got the pattern printed out. I started cutting into it. Haven't got this cut out yet, but we'll get that cut out, traced onto some foam, and then we'll get that cut out and put onto the earpieces. So we'll have one for either side. So this is going to be the section right here. Let me switch camera angles. Actually, we'll keep it here for a second. So this piece right here is going to be kind of that bent metal piece that comes up at an angle on the side of the ear. And then this right here is kind of that little horseshoe piece that sits on top of that, just right above on that side of the ear. I think we'll be able to get both of those pieces made and on today, and then after that it's kind of some more detail pieces up above that. I don't know that we'll get to that today. If we do have time still today after these, what we'll probably do is actually do the center strip that runs down the center, because that will go a little bit quicker. So yeah, so that's kind of what's on the docket for today. I'm super excited. I've actually got some cool tricks that we're going to do for these pieces, and to show you guys how we can kind of make that have as few seams as possible that we need to hide and have kind of that bent metal look. So a couple cool EVA foam tricks. We'll be using What the Foam, so that works really well. We get a good solid hold. You can see this helmet is only 4 millimeters thick and holds its shape pretty well. Because we're using What the Foam. So it's a lot stronger than other EVA foams, holds its shape super well, really clean cuts, everything like that. So you can see back here for these vent pieces, we just use 2 millimeter and they hold their shape plenty well. And we actually have functional ventilation in there. You can actually get air through there. So anyway, super excited. Let's jump in and let's work on the earpiece. I'm going to jump into the comments, see who we've got, what we've got, if we have any questions yet to start off with. And then we'll dive in and start cutting this out. So I'll look at the questions, and then while I'm answering, I'll cut this out so that we can get going. All right. Okay, so Paulino is on. How's it going? Cool. All right. Let's see. Who do we have on Instagram? Hey, Madam Magical. What's up, man? Hopefully you're still on. Thanks for joining in. I know some people probably hop in and then they're like, oh, he's not doing anything yet, and they hop back off. But hopefully we've still got you on here. Beth and Butter, James Spole, right? Sorry if I'm not saying that right. And then Vincent Santiago Marco. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you're on Instagram, throw a comment in the comments and just say, hey, what's up? Just comment with what's up. I want to hear from everybody. And then everybody that we've got on YouTube, let's see a what's up in the comments as well, just so I know who we've got. And with that, while you guys are typing that out, I will start cutting this out. Cool. So we've got Vincent on for sure. Just saw a clap or a little hand wave there. I'm going to turn you guys down just a little bit so you can kind of see more of what's going on here on the tabletop. And then I'm going to switch the camera angle for those on YouTube. And if you guys want to tune in, if you guys are on Instagram and you want to tune in on YouTube for kind of some of these different camera angles, Feel free. Unfortunately, I can't simultaneously stream to both because of the Instagram's hasn't figured out their APIs yet, I guess, with everybody that does the streaming stuff. So for now, I'm going to stream to both. But if you do want to hop over to the YouTube one, feel free to go to the link in my bio. It's a link tree, and there should be a link for the live stream that'll take you right here to this one. So, all right. Well, here we go. I'm going to cut this out. Yonolith, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Off the bat, Yonolith, thank you so much. Yonolith just did a super chat. Starting it off strong. Thank you so much. Holy cow, Yonolith, that really means so much. Thank you. You're amazing. Let me throw your comment up onto the screen here. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Hey, we got Sonia Ju on. And then Shield of Bear says, prepping for a couple knee replacements in March. Wow. Getting the right, oh, you're getting the right one done now, and then another one in March. Wow. Well, good luck with those, John. Hopefully that'll help. All right, and then we have the Chosen One saying, what's good? Awesome, awesome. All right. Let me switch camera angles again. Yonolith, holy cow, thank you so much. Seriously, you have no idea. It means so much. Your guys' super chats, your support really helps me to be able to keep doing this channel, keep making stuff and providing the content for you guys. And it really, really makes a big difference, and I am so grateful. So thank you. All right. So like I was saying, this piece here is going to be the kind of side of the bottom part of the ear. Section there. I'm not sure if it's a communications array, like what it's called on the side of like the Clone Trooper helmet or something like that, or what. I just calling it the earpiece because it's over the ear section for now. So I'm sure that there's a different name for it, but. So if you guys know what it's called, let me know in the comments. Because for now, I'm just kind of going with earpiece. So what's cool with this is we can do this all out of one piece, and the technique I'm going to use, we can get our bend, that cool bent metal look, on the underside using some groove cuts on the underside of the foam to be able to get that look, and then also just here at the bottom this slight fold. So these will bend right here at these lines, right, and it's going to kind of bend down, and then it'll attach to these here and then connect to the helmet, and that'll give us our angles. So one thing I want to do with that being the case is where these bends are going to be, I want to be able to mark those onto the foam. So I need to grab my dope knife and just kind of score right in here. I'm not going to cut it all the way, and I actually lift up in the middle a little bit just to make it so it's not too big of a cut and too unwieldy to work with, and I stop right before the end so that I don't cut it all the way through, and then I'm just gonna, just before the edge on either one of those, cut like that. That'll allow me to be able to get my pen tip down in there to be able to trace those lines onto the foam so I know where those need to bend there. So there's that. The other piece is this U piece here. Hey, we've got a couple other people joining in. Lizzie, Huerta, and the Super Couple Cosplay. Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're still on. Thanks for tuning in. We're just working on the Mandalorian helmet here. Let's see, Bradwick. We've got Bradwick on. Let me do that real quick. Okay. Paulino's working on a Boba Fett costume. That sounds awesome. Yonolith asks, where's Sammy? Good question. um, okay. John had the left one done in September last year. I remember that, and now you're having the right one done coming up here in March. Okay. Oh, yay, Paulino, I'm glad that the test came back negative. That's great. All right. Cool, cool. The chosen one said, you know I've never been able to finish my Clone Trooper helmet. You haven't been able to finish your Clone Trooper helmet? Which one are you doing? Are you doing a phase 1 like this one? Or phase 2? Hey, James B-Day75 just joined. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. We're just working on the Mandalorian helmet, cutting out a few pieces on the pattern here that we will then be transferring onto our foam here momentarily. Now, these I kind of traced out, threw together the digital version of the pattern like in a rush right before I started the live stream. So I am not completely sure if this U piece is going to work exactly how I want, because I didn't take a whole lot of time to try to make sure that all the pieces were going to line up properly. So this will be a little bit of a test. I'm confident this one's going to work just fine, but this piece I'm cutting out now might be, it's going to be a good test of whether this works or not. So now my idea behind this U piece here is it's quite a bit thicker, and instead of having to buy a whole nother thickness of foam just for this one piece on the helmet, my idea is to help you guys save on the cost there. I mean, you could definitely do it if you want to, but my idea is to just make this in a way where you can just use the same foam you already have, and we can create the look of extra thickness by doing it this way and have like no seams visible on it as well. So this will be an interesting little test to see if this works. I'm excited to see how that goes. I didn't do any registration marks on this one, but I think this one's going to kind of just fit into the other piece, so I don't think it'll be too hard to tell where it's going to go. All right, so for those of you that are just joining, we're working on the Mandalorian helmet. This is what we've got so far. We're doing the earpiece section right here. Now what's cool is a lot of these seams that you see on this helmet so far are going to be all covered up. The only actual seams that won't be covered up are just these two here. And we've designed the pattern. I've designed the pattern in a way that from the front-on view, you're not going to see, you won't even see those seams because they're just put in right along the horizon of the helmet. So I will be able to make them disappear quite a bit anyway, and be virtually seamless anyway, but just as a precaution, placing the seams in a strategic spot so that it's not visible for the majority of any photos that you'd be taking front on and that kind of thing as well. So kind of a lot of planning that went into this pattern. Super excited about it and how it's coming together. Let's see. Holy cow. You've got freezing temperatures there in Texas? That's crazy. All right, let's see. Chosen 195, working on the Phase 1 helmet. Nice. Cool, cool. Did you get my pattern for that, or are you doing your own? All right. So here's these pieces. I'm going to grab the pattern notcher. If you guys don't have one of these, highly recommend getting one. Super helpful. Makes notching these little registration marks out much easier than having to try to cut them out with scissors or with an X-Acto knife. And what this is for is so that we can just transfer where these registration marks need to go onto our pattern so that we can line things up properly when we glue them together, so that we don't have stuff get off as we try to do that. So it'll make more sense here in a second how these get used. If you're not familiar with registration marks, stay tuned, because it'll make more sense in just a bit here as we use them and transfer this onto the foam, and then you'll see how they become valuable. But essentially, this just marks when we go to glue these two edges together on the foam, we want to line up that registration mark right there with the other one so that it goes where it is supposed to. So those will line up. And on longer lengths, it makes more of a difference, but I like to put them on any seam pieces that are going together just to make sure that everything is getting lined up properly. So. Yes, I bought your pattern. I just have gotten very confused with it. Well, I'm happy to hop on and help answer questions for you and everything like that, to help you get through getting stuck on that. I'm sorry that I realized that the video that I didn't actually have a whole lot of kind of the step-by-step. It kind of showed a lot more of the process with that one, and so I'm happy to help advise and that kind of stuff. Even if we need to hop on sometime, do a video call on Instagram or something like that to help make sure we get you through that that roadblock. I'm happy to help with that. So yeah, let me know. Hit me up and direct message me on Instagram, and we can get you through that. I want you to be able to make your get that Clone Trooper helmet finished up. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so wow, it sounds like there was a crazy accident in Texas already with like the freezing temperatures. Iona Lefast says, Olivia still editing? Yeah, we're still finishing it up. We're getting really close though on editing that together, and should be done relatively soon. We're going to be doing the just going through and balancing all the audio and stuff here and soon. So so that'll be good. I'm just grabbing a piece of foam here to trace onto. See, do I already have one that we cut into? Sorry guys, I'm off camera here for just a second, but I will be back on camera just momentarily. Just want to grab, there we go. That's a piece we've already started to draw on. Perfect. Or already cut out. Okay. So I've got this piece here. We should be able to fit these on. I'm going to start with these guys and trace two of these on here. Leia, what's the project you're working on with all this different paint stuff? Chosen 195, yeah, sure thing. I want to make sure that my goal is for people to be able to recreate their favorite fandoms and be super excited about their finished project. Oh boy. Sorry guys, my computer just took a nosedive. Hold on. I don't know how that happened, but that was kind of crazy. Let me get this plugged back in. Sorry guys. I have kind of like a little touchscreen tablet computer thing here mounted on a little bracket, and it just totally popped out of the bracket and like fell to the ground. So luckily it's okay. But that scared me. So yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I want that helmet to be a success for you. So we'll get you figured out. Here and here, and one more here just to be safe. There we go. Okay, so now I know that these two edges I want to have be at a bevel, so I'm going to mark them in gold with a gold marker, and then I know that these inside pieces are going to be at bevels as well. I like to color code my pattern markings onto the foam and everything like that, because I feel like it helps save me from making as many mistakes as I build, so I don't waste foam. And then this outside piece needs to be beveled as well. Those are fine straight. For straight cuts, I usually just do a silver. And then this inside piece is actually going to be done on the back side of the foam. So I will, once I finish cutting this out, I'll actually place this on the back and mark those lines in just a moment. I'm going to use the gold here as well just to mark my registration marks. So right here you can see where I notched those in. That's so that I could get a pen in there to be able to mark those registration marks onto the foam. Now once it's on the foam, we're not going to cut out those registration marks. They're just going to be marks that we can line up when we glue it to the other pieces so that things line up where they're supposed to. So, hey, we got Sammy Seabones on Instagram, huh? So those of you that on YouTube that were asking where Sammy was, I think he's on Instagram. We got SB Makes stuff on as well. Cosplaying Dad joined. Hey, what's up? And then Mario Alberto Morales Martinez as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're just working on the Mandalorian helmet here. This is what we've got so far on it, and we're doing the ear sections right now. We've got the venting done last week on our live stream on YouTube, and now we're working on the other pieces now. So let's see. Painting a shirt for my brother. We'll post a pic on Discord. Okay, sweet, Leia. That sounds awesome. I've never painted a shirt before. That sounds pretty epic. How do you do that? With just like a brush or like airbrushing or what? Okay, so this was our right piece, our right side. So I'm going to mark that accordingly here. And then we're going to flip this over and trace out our other side as well while we've got it here. Pop these pins back in. Trying to make sure I'm in frame on both cameras here. So I've got, if you guys are confused, I'm looking at two different comment feeds. I'm looking at the YouTube one and on Instagram. I'm live streaming on both right now. If you want different camera angles, on Instagram I've got this one, but then on YouTube I'm able to kind of switch between different camera angles. I've got an overhead view on this right now. If you guys are wanting to see that, feel free to join us on YouTube. I put the link in the bio on Instagram. There's a link tree, and if you just go to the live stream link in there, that should take you right to this stream on YouTube if you're wanting to check that out there. But happy to have you guys on no matter where you are. Hola to Mario. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to see you on here. Thanks for saying hi. That's awesome. Okay. With a brush and a steady hand as far as for painting a shirt. That's awesome. Used to use a sponge brush and cardstock, made templates to paint something on a shirt. Oh, that's cool. Kind of like just sticking down kind of a stencil on it and then doing like a sponge brush type of thing. Painted over 24 shirts. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Hearthfire! Yay, so exciting! Thanks, yeah, glad to have you on. Okay, so once again, these are going to be beveled cuts, and I'll show you that on the actual pattern when I make this available for everybody. I will have this marked, which ones are bevels, which ones are straight cuts and everything on the pattern, as well as what direction you need to cut that bevel and some guides to be able to help you cut it at like the perfect angle to have them line up as best as possible as well. So try to provide all the info I can in those patterns so that it can be as easy as possible to recreate yourself. Okay. Cool, cool. So then this one, when we pop this off, we'll mark this one left. So I'm just using sewing pins here to stick this down to the foam so I can trace it. That way it doesn't move on me and I can get a good clean trace. You can use different things like 1x2 block type of things, weights and whatnot. I have a metal tabletop, so sometimes I'll even use magnets to kind of hold it down and it pulls through to the metal table if you have some strong magnets as well. So a couple different options there. Alright, so let's get these cut out, and then we're going to flip them over, and then we're going to trace these lines in there so that we know where those are supposed to go on the back side. And I'll show you how that's going to work, because we're going to do this all out of one piece, and we're going to create this awesome bent metal look in the foam with doing some groove cuts underneath. So it'll be pretty sweet. Okay, so for these bevels, I'm going to want to do them at about a 45. Actually, maybe even a little bit steeper. Because what's going to happen is this foam is 4 millimeters thick. So when we have this bend down to then stick onto the helmet here, we're not going to want that 4 millimeters of just straight foam sticking up and only our edge touching there. So when we cut this at a bevel, once we put that at that angle, we'll actually be able to have that glue down pretty flat against there with that bevel, and then that'll sit on there nice and flush, if that makes sense. So, because once this gets at an angle, that 4 millimeters becomes a problem compared to just paper, right? And so that's why we're cutting this at a bevel. So it's going to be quite a steep bevel. These ones will be less here, but these ones will be quite steep because they'll be needing to sit flush on the EVA foam there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly hone the blade. Make sure it's good and sharp for cutting. Now the nice thing is working with What the Foam here, which you can get on Amazon. And what I'm trying to do, I believe this Mandalorian helmet could be made from just one of our variety packs of What the Foam. You can make the whole helmet and have leftover. But the nice thing about working with What the Foam is you don't have to. Your blade doesn't have to be as sharp as it has to be for cutting some other foams, because this cuts really clean and it doesn't mind if the blade is a little bit duller. It'll still cut clean. So here we go. So I'm going to just kind of come in at a steep bevel here. I like to a little bit before the line starts, get the blade ready, and then plunge that in. Get my blade at the right angle, kind of using my hand as a wedge to hold that same angle bevel the whole time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my whole arm, not just move my hand, but move my whole arm so that I can just keep all this in the same position so I get a good consistent bevel all the way through on that cut. Just like that. So here in a second I'll show you guys how clean that goes there. But before that, I'm going to rotate around and do the same thing here. I'm going to try to match that same angle if I can. Cut through there. I don't have as much room to work with because I'm running into that other piece there. Now, one thing to remember too is that as you're doing this, when you have a big thick marker that you're drawing your line with, you just remember that the inside of that line is where you want to cut along, because that's where your pattern, the edge of your pattern was sitting. You don't want to cut on the outside of your line or you're going to start getting different shapes than what your pattern was. Okay, so then right up here, these are just going to be straight cuts. Similar principle, just keep your blade in position straight up and down the best you can. Okay, so on the inside of that line again. And when you have tight corners like this on the inside, I like to tip up so that I have minimal blade in the foam, and then I can rotate around in that corner. And then I tip back down and then get to my new corner there. Rotate around. And that helps me to be able to just get those a little bit straighter. The other thing is if you do have a sharp, just 90-degree corner, I'd stick the blade right into the corner like this, plunge straight down, then tilt into your line, and then go to the other side of that 90-degree, stick it in, and just pull your cuts out from those sharp corners. Now sometimes you're going to run into another one, so that's where this technique comes in to play to make it handy. Alright, so there we go. I don't know if you guys can see how well you can see on here, but you can see that this is actually cuts really, really smooth, clean bevels there. And let's see, can I tap to focus? No. But yeah, here on YouTube for you guys, you can just see how clean that cuts. And we got some nice, good, clean bevels, some good, clean, straight cuts as well. Now I'm going to do these little darts here real quick, and those are going to be at a bevel, but not as steep as a bevel as we did on the edge. Probably just kind of a little bit more of a, maybe a 45, something like that. And they will both go, be beveling in. So on themselves when you're cutting on the line, because then they're going to bend and glue into each other at that angle. So this one I'm going to come from the corner and pull. And the same thing here. Remember to cut along the inside of your line once again when you're going each direction. So there we go. We've got our bevels all cut there. Now what we're going to do is mark on our underside, and then we'll get this other piece cut out. Mark on our other side these lines. So that's the way it goes. I'll tack this into place with some pins. And this is going to be an under groove cut. And so I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Let's see, who do we have? Hey, we got Noah Stewart, Hadriel, Rose Colored Cottage, Ferris 712, Lorenzo Tag. Hey guys, hopefully you're all on the live stream. I don't know if you guys are still on. If you're here, drop a comment in the comments and say, what's up? It's hard because Instagram tells me when somebody joined, but then it doesn't. I don't know how many people are still on or actually seeing, still watching it. How we doing over here on YouTube? Okay, cool. Yeah, April. So it is kind of like a stencil thing. That's sweet. That's smart. That makes it probably easier to do. Do you have to have like the stencil? Does it have to be kind of sticky, or to kind of stick down and really get a clean edge, or does it? Is it just like heavier and then you can place it on there? That's cool. April said, I tried to cut bevels. I forgot on floor mat foam. Talk about tough, LOL. It's like running a knife through slime. Yeah, it's kind of trickier with the floor mat foam because it's so much squishier, and it wants to the foam kind of wants to just like you said, kind of like cutting through slime. In a sense, because it wants to just like pull and just kind of stretch and move with your blade, and so as you're kind of pulling, it's just like kind of giving before the blade can even cut it. Whereas you get a lot more pushback from what the foam, and so that's part of that is it actually lets the blade just cut through it instead of kind of pulling. And especially with those bevels, or especially like a tight little edges like these right here that we're doing on floor mat foam and some of the softer foams and that kind of stuff, it gets really hard to do because of that kind of stretch, for sure. But yeah, you kind of get spoiled when you use the what the foam and then try to go back to doing a bevel on a floor mat or something else. You got to make sure that blade's really sharp so that it doesn't pull it before it cuts it. Yeah. If you want clean edges, use freezer paper. Okay. So they're talking about kind of painting shirts and that kind of stuff. And so using freezer paper to make your stencil. That's cool. Because then it kind of sticks down a little bit. All right. Cool. Okay, so let's draw these on. So what I like to mark my undergroove cuts with is blue, usually. Let me see if I can find my blue. My workshop is kind of a disaster zone right now from the filming that we've done recently. And so, and I haven't had the chance to play catch up and do cleanup yet. Maybe one of the upcoming videos on the YouTube channel will be a workshop tour after I get it all clean. Or be like a video on organizing your workshop. Okay, so here we go. So this is really nice. These super fine tip. Hey, Manual Cosplay, what's up, man? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Let me get in a little bit closer on this. Let me switch camera angles for you guys on YouTube. And yeah, so these fine tip paint pens are amazing for doing patterning because you can really get into these cracks really easy. So for here especially, I can just get in, mark this line without it being a super big mess. It's just going to fit right between the lines on the paper there. So if you remember, I scored this paper, I just kind of cut through with a couple little like lifting up every once in a while, just to allow the paper to not be cut completely all the way through and become unwieldy. But just mark across there like that, and then when we pop this off, now this is marking our center point of our groove cut. On the pattern, I will have little markings on either side to show you where you should have the blade be going in, and then also where the center is, so that you can get a more precise groove cut there. But you can see now that that traced it in there pretty well. Hopefully you guys are seeing that on camera just fine. Looks like that's showing up for you. If you want to, once you pull it off, you can kind of trace over it again just to make it a little bit more visible. But yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's that one. Do you want me to do the groove cut on this and show you guys kind of how that works before we cut out the other piece? And hey, Noah Stewart said hi, thumbs up, thanks. We got C-Bones over on YouTube now. Here we go. Awesome, awesome. I didn't know what I was doing then. I just held down the cardstock with my hand and some tape on the edges. Oh, nice, for doing the stencils. Yeah, well, I haven't done any of that, so you guys are teaching me. If I ever want to do that, now I'll know how to do it better to start off with. That's awesome. Okay, so let's let me know in the comments, guys, if you're wanting to see cut out the other piece first. Okay, Yonalith says cut out the other piece first, and then we'll do the groove cuts. Okay. If anybody has any objections, speak now. But it's probably a good point. Let's get this one cut out too, so we can do both ear pieces before I get like too far on one and then be like, oh, never mind, let's not do the other one yet. Okay. So if you remember, we did this bevel first. Cutting on the inside of the line the best I can. Now something I'm also going to do, oops, throwing pins all over. Got to put those back in my little tub here. Something else I'm going to do, because the side of this, where it meets the helmet, it actually has like a tiny little lip, like maybe a 2mm lip right there on the end, that it just sticks up just a tad bit before it takes its curve. So what we're going to do is on this bevel that we cut, the little trick we're going to do is we're actually just going to take this and we're going to cut just straight down along this edge, just to straighten off that edge just a little bit. So we have the bevel that will glue down, but then it'll have a little bit of a straight edge where it's going to meet the foam, so it looks like it's sticking up just about 2mm before it takes its curve. So that'll make more sense here in a moment, but just kind of giving you guys some context or some heads up as to what we'll be doing there. Alright, so I'm going to do this corner out, this corner out, that one. So anywhere where I can cut past where I need to get to, like how I cut a little bit longer on these lines. I like to do that just because it's going to have a cleaner edge rather than trying to cut just up to the edge, and then sometimes you'll have a little sticky bit or something like that that didn't quite cut. I like to cut past where I can, where I don't have any other piece that's interfering. But then there's like ones like this where you have to come in, and right here obviously I can't cut past that because I have to turn and then come back in on that, but I can cut past a little bit right here. So I find that handy when you're able to be able to just cut past where you're wanting to go a little bit, because it'll result in just a little bit sharper edge. And make sure, like, when you're cutting these out, take your time. Like this part of the process is going to save you a lot of time later on if you're careful about how you're cutting. Now it will save you time in the future that you won't have to be trying to sand and fix and repair, you know, cuts that maybe you didn't take your time on, or if you accidentally went a little too quick and you didn't cut right along the line like you were supposed to, or something like that. Okay, let's trace our blue on the back. So now this one's going to go this way. Hopefully this is making sense. Does anybody have any questions on what I'm doing here? Anything that's you're like, why did you do this? Or what's going on there? Feel free to ask. I'm happy to chat and take time to answer questions. I want this to be a fun hangout, like have you guys be able to learn stuff, but also just a place for us to all kind of hang out, have a little community here. But likely, chances are, if you've got a question on something, a lot of other people have been asking the same question as well. So feel free to, if you have a question on something I'm doing here, or just something related to working with EVA foam in general, please feel free to drop it in the comments, and I'm happy to take a second to answer it. So. Let's see. Oh, hey, we got Max BB. Welcome. Oh, you know what asks, where is Grogu? That's a good question. He's... Oh, here he is. Poor guy got buried in the... got buried under my pile of stuff on the other half of my workbench here. But yeah, he's hanging out with us, checking out how the Mandalorian helmet's coming. Do you know what I think would be so cute in the Mandalorian is if he ended up getting a little Mandalorian helmet that, like, I just think that would be adorable. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so I can see you have both your pieces done before I leave. Leia says my kids would love the shirt that she's painting. What's it got on it? Sounds awesome. Rather just watch, and then that way, Skylar, and this way it's etched into my brain. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, yeah, if you guys have any questions. Sniper Emma88 says, I have a Baby Yoda too. Yeah, we saw this guy at Costco. There was a big stack of them. We're like, those aren't going to last. We'd already bought all our stuff, and then I was like, I'm going back. Both Olivia and I looked at each other and we're like, okay, we should go back and get one. So I ran back and got it, and totally so glad I did, because they were gone like the next time we were there. And it's so cute. Oh my goodness. Totally. So let's see. Some other people that have joined that I haven't said hi to. Savalgu, Manny C14, Michael Horton, and Sniper Emma, or Snipe, yeah, am I saying that? Sniper Emma 88. Awesome, awesome. Cool, cool. Let's see, and we've got, actually, they sell that on Etsy for the one you have if you go there. Paulina says they have one on Etsy that has has armor and a little jetpack. That's so cute. It's a fire Pokemon. The name starts with an R. Reboot. Yeah, they would love that. Our youngest was pretending to be Reboot yesterday. Or Score Bunny, I guess, actually. But okay, so just marking the undergroove cut on the back of this one. So once again, for those of you just joining, I like to color code my pattern, my patterning, so that when I transfer it onto the foam, I can better keep track of what type of thing I'm supposed to be doing there, so I don't accidentally, you know, cut a straight line where I was supposed to do a bevel, or, you know, cut all the way through the foam where I was supposed to just score it or something like that. So I use a color code in my patterns, and if you get any of my patterns, there's a table at the top that has the whole kind of legend for what colors I use for what and that kind of thing, and what lines are marked which way. Not every pattern uses the whole legend, but it has the whole legend there. Just as reference, I use that same legend on all my patterns. So, okay, here we go. So, now like I said before, oh hey, we've got Odin, Erdogan 26. I don't know if I said that right, but welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Bones, I'll get back on Instagram real quick and send you this link. Okay, we're just talking to each other. Question: how do you get foam to look like carbon fiber? That's a great question. So let me just take a quick second to answer that, and then we'll jump back into this. I don't know that I have any. Actually, right here. Perfect. Let me show you. So, a great way to get EVA foam to look like carbon fiber, and it's not like perfect, spot on like carbon fiber look, but it's an easy trick that gets you a good, that looks good and passes as carbon fiber look. Looks really cool. Is you get this, it's like a shelf liner stuff. I don't know if you guys are seeing that super well there. It's got kind of the squares, and there's these little rectangles in between each of the squares, and what you do is you just take your piece of foam, right, or your piece that you drew, cut off a section of this, and kind of tack this down to it, whether you pin it or like wrap it around and tape it, or whatever you need to do. You don't want to use an adhesive necessarily. It kind of has some stickiness to it already, but you want to get this so it sits down nice and tight on your piece, and then you take, so first actually, paint your piece with a matte black surface, right? So that could be just like the Plastidip. It's kind of matte. It's got a little bit of a satin sheen to it, the Plastidip on its own. It's pretty matte, but if you want to go full out matte black, do a matte black spray paint or something like that on it, but get it to be matte first, and then you take this and you set it down on your piece, and then then when it's all kind of stuck down there, then you go through with gloss black spray paint and do a couple coats of the gloss, like keeping it in exactly the same place. gloss black on the top of that, and then once you peel that off, then you'll have these little like gloss black rectangles next to the matte black rectangle square pieces, and it gives this really cool looking carbon fiber look. So now you might, depending on how you're using that, obviously it's a lot easier to do it on a flat piece. So potentially if it's kind of like this inlay or something like that, you may want to prep that piece beforehand while it's flat, get it the carbon fiber look, and then glue it in from the backside or something like that to give that look. But that's a good way to be able to do it really easy and get that carbon fiber look. And maybe I should do a video on that because it's a cool little technique. But yeah, hopefully that answered that question for you, Sammy. But that's a great question. I've had a lot of people ask that in the past, and it's something that I was looking to do at one point, and I was like, oh, this is cool, this works. I can't remember where I saw it. I don't know if maybe I think I may have seen Zingprod do something like that potentially, or I'm not sure. Sometimes it's hard to remember if you had the idea or if you saw somebody else do it or do something similar and then you did something. But that's the beauty of this community, is everybody shares their cool ideas, and people iterate on it and share it with others and everything like that and spread it around. So it's awesome. Hey, James Allen, what's up? How's it going? Cool, cool. All right, so let's see. Do we still have anybody on Instagram? If you guys are on, drop a what's up in the comments. Okay, here we go. So now with these pieces, we're going to do our groove cuts. Now this is the really cool part that allows us to be able to do the bottom of these earpieces all in one piece. So I'm really excited to do these and show you guys how this works. So now one of the key things when doing a groove cut is that you don't want to cut through too much of your foam because then it'll become too weak or create a weak point that has potential to break, or you could break through the surface on the other side. So a rule of thumb is basically I go with like leave yourself 2 millimeters left of foam whenever you do a groove cut, at least 2 millimeters left at the bottom. And that'll be enough to where you can get a good clean line but not destroy the integrity too much, especially with what the foam, because the 2 millimeter is like crazy strong. So leaving yourself 2 millimeters is a pretty good bet that you'll be fine. So so what I'm going to do here, so sometimes groove cuts, you'll have like a V groove where it's like both. Let me switch camera angles here for YouTube guys, so you guys can see from here. So there's a V groove where you kind of do a groove at an angle and at an angle on the other side. And then there's what I call a check groove, which is kind of more of like a check mark where you might have one that you cut straight and the other one that you cut at an angle. So that would be if you have something like this where this piece sits straight and then this piece comes off at an angle from that. So what we'll actually do is right along this line, we're just going to score it basically straight down, and then we'll come in at an angle from here, and then that'll allow us to be able, when you fold this over, it'll sit flush at that angle. So that's what I think we're going to do, is more of a check groove on this, to where one side is just straight and then the other side comes in at an angle. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I like to do to kind of give myself a reference here on the side is I will mark halfway down, since this is 4 millimeter, mark a point like halfway down to kind of give myself a reference of where I'm starting with my blade, so that I don't cut too far down. So then when I'm lining up my blade, I'll be able to just like get it in line with that dot there before I get into the foam, and then just pull through and keep my hand at that same depth. Same thing when I go to do the angle. I want to make sure that that's lining up with that point there. So for this camera here, you can see I'll want to just my blade to only go down to that point on the foam, and then I'm just going to cut through. Now obviously I'm not going to cut through holding it up like this. I'm going to set it down, but for you guys to be able to see what I'm referencing here. So for my straight cut, I'm going to only go down to there, and then for my beveled cut into there, I'm going to go down to there. So here we go. Let's give this a try. All right, the Reaper Sam says, "What's up?" We got them on. Perfect, perfect. We also have Stellar Costumes that just joined. Thanks for tuning in. We're just doing the earpieces on the Mandalorian helmet right now. See ya, Yonoliths. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was so generous of you with your super chat and everything as well. Have a great weekend and happy Valentine's Day. April says I could do a video on a lot of paint textures like the carbon fiber and the wood. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that'll be the next couple videos. That would be good. Okay, so I'm going to just get my blade lined up right there with that depth, and then just use my hand as kind of a depth gauge and just pull that through all the way along that line. Then I'm going to do the same thing now just with a bevel. Get my blade tip lined up with that depth there. And this is where the tricky part is how much of an angle do we do. On the pattern, I will have it marked so that you know where you should be, the blade should be cutting through and then meeting at that point for you guys. But for this one, test one, I'm just going to kind of estimate. And there we go. And then I use my hand once again as kind of a wedge, a gauge to keep that depth and keep that bevel as we go through. So then we have a nice little check groove, and you can see as we fold that over, we're going to get kind of that bent metal look on the front here. And we can make that sharper by once we glue this down and heat it up and cause that crease to show up a little bit better. Hopefully that's showing up for you guys on camera there. It's a really cool effect. And you can get it just from all one piece. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out all the different angles to line up everything and glue it together and worry about it not lining up. We have some leeway here with this technique as well, because if it doesn't need to bend this far, you know, if we cut it a little bit further than we need to and it doesn't have to bend quite that far, we can always backfill it with hot glue at right where we need it to be. So you don't have to worry about getting it too precise this way, because you have some leeway with this technique. So, all right, so now I'm just going to do the same thing here, but this time remember now the straight groove is going to be along this line, and then I'm going to be doing the bevel on that side. So once again, I'm just going to mark my kind of halfway down point that I can reference there. Angle. There we go. Okay. Now for these two on the top and bottom, I'm just going to come in at an angle on both of those and just kind of try to meet that depth of what we had before. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera, because these are going to, this one up at the top is going to be need to sit more at a 45, and this one down here just needs some bend to it as well for when it meets up on the other ones. So now here, this is the really cool part. When we see this come together, we just do these folds here and glue these pieces together, and then we've got our bent metal look for our earpiece all out of one piece, and it looks really clean and crisp and sharp. just like that. So then the other thing will be, let me show you on the helmet here. So this is our right piece. So we've got our registration marks right there, and we've got that bevel that we cut on there to be able to sit down on the foam. More flush there. And then what I'm going to do is cut that bevel just a little bit on this edge so that it sticks up just a little bit before it takes the angle up. So hopefully that's looking cool for you guys. Let's see, did you guys see that okay here on the top angle? So I think that should come together nicely for us there. And I probably should have referenced, and I think I will, my pattern here, because I probably should have traced when I was doing this face piece, I should have traced where the edge this side goes, which I think I might actually do right now, just so that we know where that's supposed to go. So I'm just going to do a similar thing that I've done with transferring marks on the other pieces. Here. And this one's my best bet for going through. So I wouldn't normally mark this in blue, but it's going to be the best one for fitting through there. That kind of gives me at least a general mark as to where that's going to go. I don't know if you guys can see that, because the earpiece doesn't go all the way to the edge here. It stops shy of that, so I needed to have kind of an idea when I'm placing this on here how far out I need to line that edge up over here. So, and on my actual pattern I'll put registration marks and probably have those marked there too so that we can label those better. Alright, let's do the groove cut on this one and then let's get these glued on, yeah? Let's see, we've got black label costume and prop. I feel dumb for not doing that on my Mando helmet. Oh, well, don't. It's kind of a tricky technique and kind of a fun way to do it. And you know, not everybody does it, so not at all. But now you have that in your tool belt, because it's maybe I sometimes overuse this technique, but I just love the effect that it gets. And that you can do it all kind of out of one piece and everything. So sorry if on that overhead view I'm blocking you guys' view here. So now once again on the pattern, when I kind of figure out this exact angle here, I will mark where the blade should be entering here for this angle, and where this line is as well, so that it takes the guesswork out of it, whereas here I'm kind of trying to guess roughly what angle I need and whatnot. But I will include that on the pattern itself, so you can, when you trace these lines, there will be like two lines, one where the center is and one where your blade will be entering in, so that it's not as much of a guessing game and you can more easily recreate the same look. Yes? Sorry, just a second. I have kids knocking on the blast door. For those of you on Instagram, let me see if I can flip this camera around. Oh. I'll flip the camera around and show you guys. I think everyone on YouTube is pretty familiar with my Star Wars door into my workshop here, but I will show you guys that real quick. Here you go, bud. Here. I'm just going to set it outside. Okay. There you go, big guy. It lights up and everything as well. Anyway, there you go. Cool little piece. That's the entrance into my workshop. But yeah, Sammy, I saw you said that he might be coming to FanX. Did you see that on FanX's website, or just did he say that he might be coming? Oh, the Pokemon name Reshiram. I'm not familiar with that one, but I bet my kids know it. Hey, see ya, Paulino. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck with school and class and stuff. All right, let's see. Black Label Costume and Props says, "Yo, that's so cool." Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. My wife's the best for letting me have a Star Wars blast door entrance into my workshop. I'd show you guys more of the workshop, but it's a complete mess right now. But yeah, so here we go. We've got this piece now, and I think we're ready to... Oh, I need to cut the little bevel, or the little angle on this. So let's see, how do we want to do that? So if you guys, I don't know if that made sense before for you guys, but with this sitting at the angle, it doesn't just come and sit completely flush against the helmet right here like this does now, because it's got this bevel to it. It actually has a slight raise, like it kind of sticks up just a little bit, 1 or 2 millimeters on the edge before it takes the angle up. And so to get that, we cut this bevel, and now what I'm going to do is just cut, now just kind of like a straight cut, this pressed down flat against the table, cut it straight so that it looks like it has a little bit of a bevel that just sticks up. We could cut it, we could also just Dremel that to do that as well, which I may end up doing. I'll see how the cutting goes. But the nice thing about what the foam is, I can get a good clean cut even if I'm cutting just right along the edge of another cut, because of its strength and like how sturdy it holds and everything like that. You can actually kind of cut a little tiny bit off the edge like that without it causing too many problems. Now hopefully it doesn't, now that I've said that, but because I actually haven't done this specific thing where it's beveled to a small little angle and then we're cutting off a little bit, but my guess is it'll probably work pretty well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tilt this up on the side, if you guys can see from there on the talked with Odin about it on Instagram. Oh, sweet. And then James says he said it on a live stream. Cool. Well, I'll have to reach out to him and let him know that that's my home con. So that'll be sweet. Okay, so what I'm wanting to do is I'm holding the bevel portion flush against the table, against the cutting mat. And I want to hold that tight right there. And then I want to just cut straight down from there, just a little ways in as straight of a line as I can along this edge. And I should probably mark this on the pattern as well. Okay, perfect. I think that'll work out. So I don't know if you guys can see that super well, but essentially I kind of added just that little bit of cut onto that bevel, so now when it sits down flush against the surface, it will stick up just a tad bit. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Hopefully that makes sense. It'll make more sense once you see it on the helmet, I guess. And now, the tricky part is to try to match that same cut that I just did. It was about 1/8 of an inch in. Now, I should probably be more precise with this and do it with I mean, number one, just even marking it with a line so that it's a good straight line that I could follow would help. But I think that works. This one will be the trickiest because it's already quite thin and flimsy here. Okay, that kind of gave me something. All right, we'll do that to this one, and then we'll be ready to glue it on. Hey, Gar06, thanks for joining. Glad to see you on here. So Instagram's telling me I only have one person viewing. Is that true? If you guys are viewing, drop a comment in the comments so that I know how many people are actually watching this. Seabone says, FanX is my home con too. It's a good one. Alright, here we go. So, about 1/8 of an inch in. And here we go. It's kind of weird. It looks like you're cutting way more off than you are, because it's coming in like 1/8 of an inch, but then it just gives that little like 2mm lip on the edge because we're holding it at this beveled angle. That would be so cool if Odin came to FanX. I would love that. It'd be awesome to get to talk to him in person. So yeah, just once again, like the testament to using What the Foam for this is huge, because I don't know that other foams would really let you do this as easily, because we're cutting off such a small amount. A lot of other foams will have too much stretch and squish to them to let you really get a good clean cut doing this on such a small piece of foam with these tight angles and everything. So the other thing is that lets us be able to do 4mm thick foam for this Mando helmet, so that it's more of a realistic thickness. We're not having to try to hide a bunch of foam thickness in the helmet or run out of space on the inside because of how thick the foam is, or have to make the helmet bigger to fit a head inside of it because of how thick it is or something. So anyway, cool. I think that should work for us. Odin was down here for a Dallas con when I worked for TNT for a bit in 2019. Nice. Yeah, hopefully we can get cons going again and have get back a little bit to some of those fun events like that. We miss him for sure. We missed him by just a hair as he had to get back to California. Shoot. Yeah, that would be fun. That's awesome. You worked for TNT for a while. Those guys are great. Okay, here we go. So I think it's glue time. What do you guys think? So I need to probably mark that line on the other side too. I marked this right side. Wonder. Oh yeah. So the reason I have this little knob on the top is to function as a spacer to tell me how high up this piece needs to sit. So now I might need to adjust my bevel a little bit as a result, because I think it might be sitting. So this tab right here will sit down flush against the foam, and then that tells me how far out these need to go to then make contact and with the foam. So if I don't want to have too much of a curve in that, I need to maybe bevel that a little bit more, a sharper bevel than what I did. So that's kind of tricky. So here we go. This is something else that you probably wouldn't be able to do with other foams, but I think with the foam will be able to handle it. So I already cut a bevel, and now I need to make the bevel steeper. Seabone says, I've never been to FanX before. What's it like? Oh, I mean, like, there are a ton of talented costume people that attend FanX. Like, the costumes are just phenomenal. It's so fun to see so many people. I mean, a lot of this, you know, standard con stuff with, like, just all the great vendors and, you know, artists and stuff like that that have a bunch of great things. The panels and whatnot are way fun. They get quite a few celebrities that come and do some fun panels and stuff like that as well. Hey, we've got Olivia here.
Hi guys. Sorry it took me an hour and a half.
Oops. Switch to here to everybody can say hi. We've got the peeps on Instagram as well.
Hi Instagram.
But
oh, and I've got a 2-year-old. Come here, bud.
Deadly Duo Cosplay. Thanks for joining in. Glad to see you on here. We're just working on the EVA Foam Mandalorian Helmet. Working on the earpiece right now, for those of you just joining. And those of you joining on YouTube, we've got this. Hey, James Allen, did you just change your icon between comments? That threw me off. I was like, wait, whose is that? All right. So, because I was just playing around with what angle to cut this bevel at, it looks like I may need to cut it at a steeper bevel. So, what I need to do, now that I've already done this kind of extra bevel cut, I need to cut along that bevel edge and cut a steeper bevel. So I don't know if I can even hold my blade at a steeper angle very well, but here goes nothing.
Do you want to switch camera angles?
Oh yeah.
Hi, Sonia.
Whew! Whoa! How did I do that? That was amazing.
I don't know. Nobody got to see.
Sorry guys, I didn't switch the camera angle for you on YouTube.
They just watched us hold baby. Eat granola bars.
I don't know what's the best angle. Probably the side angle for this cut. Even though my arm might be in the way for part of it.
Ooh, look how cool the helmet is.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's looking awesome. I'm so stoked. I don't know if you guys saw on the thumbnail for the live stream on YouTube. Like, I'm super pumped. In the thumbnail, I put the helmet side by side next to a Novos helmet of where it's at this point, and like I overlaid it on the top of the Novos helmet, and it is like so close to like spot on. It's crazy. Like there were very minimal differences, but the overall like silhouette shape was like a perfect fit. Like it was crazy, and I just just did the pattern freehanding it. Like, do you want to hand me that? Like, just looking at reference images and kind of doing scale measurements off of reference images and that kind of stuff, and created this like base out of, you know, cardboard, cereal box cardboard and tape, and to make the pattern and everything. So it was really cool to just see it right next to the Novos helmet in the picture and see how close it really is, just from, you know, creating the pattern just from looking at pictures. So anyway, I'm super stoked about how it's looking. Sorry for the tangent on that, but it's exciting to see that come together. Okay, so I cut a steeper bevel on that. I think that's going to be closer to what we're wanting. So now I'm going to have to do that same thing over here. Now, if you guys missed what I was doing, maybe this might be a better angle over here for you guys to see. See how close I can get you guys in there. And then hopefully you guys on YouTube can see this okay here. I don't know if the overhead, maybe the overhead might be better.
I see the blast door.
Okay, I think the overhead might be better for you guys on YouTube. So essentially, right, I have this extra bevel that I cut, and then I have this bevel that I cut originally, but I need this bevel to be steeper. So what I need to do is I need to come right along this edge where it meets the second bevel I did and cut this steeper. So that's what I did on this other side, and I was kind of like, what? That worked? It was amazing. I was able to cut off this like thin piece at a beveled angle off of such a small thing. So anyway, I know I keep saying it, but you guys, What the Foam is amazing, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. Other foams, you'd have to just start over or redo the piece at this point, or like really like hold it down super tight, or just like Dremel it. I guess you could do that as well. But you wouldn't be able to do this kind of like surgical bevel cut. So I'm having to hold my blade. I can't hold my hand at enough of an angle with the wedge here. So I'm actually flipping my grip to hold from the top, and then doing that, lining that up with the edge that I need to cut along, and then getting into the foam here, and then just trying to cut right along that bevel edge at a nice steep angle. Ooh, doggy. So awesome. Okay, sweet. I think that's going to be more where we want to be. That's sitting a lot better. So, nice thing about doing this is, like, you know, I test these angles and stuff here, and then when I do the pattern, I'll be able to tell you exactly what bevel to cut this at, and actually mark it on the pattern where your blade needs to enter, and, you know, where it would come out, kind of thing. How far in you need to do that, so you can line that up properly the first time around. So I need to do that same thing here on this edge piece. This is going to be the trickiest piece because it's going to move a little bit more because it's got more wiggle to it. But I think we can do this.
Can I ask you a question while you do that?
Yes.
Sammy says, hey Skylar, can foam be used to fill seams on foam projects? And James' answer was, it depends on the gap, which I think
Yeah.
is a good answer.
Okay, so that one didn't quite work as well. Yeah, that's no, you're good. It was more. It's more just the piece that we're dealing with here. But I was able to. I think that worked. Um, so yeah, it depends on the gap and you know what you're working with. But yeah, it can definitely be used for that type of thing. I like to kind of add water and knead water into it to kind of make it a little bit more of a paste type of thing to then be able to put in to be able to spread it along a gap kind of thing. Just spread it a little bit easier. Also, too, you may want to wet the surface that you're sticking it to just to help it adhere a little bit better before you stick it down to it. Cool. I think we are in business here. That's looking good. And actually, I don't think I needed to do this one at as steep of an angle after all. So I won't do that on this other piece. Okay, gotta cut these steeper bevels once more. Do we have, I'm not seeing comments on Instagram because we got a bunch of people join in though. Felderberg, Maui Creations, JS Whitmore, Migs Cosplay Props. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we got Sonia Zhu. What's up, what's up? Okay, here we go. Oop. Sorry, did we answer that question well enough, or?
I think so. Sammy, let us know if we answered that question well enough. I think we have a video filling gaps with it.
Yeah. I think I might have cut that one at more of a bevel than the other ones. When I first did it, because that didn't quite cut as much as the other ones did. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not going to change the angle on this other one because it actually is a pretty good angle. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so check that out. That looks good. So the benefits, again, of this is you can do it all in one piece. And then these bent metal look on the underside are just nice and crisp. You're not having to try to figure out, as you can see, angles are a little bit tricky. To get that to match up perfectly right here, it actually gives you a little bit more leeway to kind of be able to flex that into position where you need it to be and still get that nice line there. And then we'll be able to blend it along these seams here when we glue those pieces together. And then we'll just sand along that just a tad bit, and that will just look seamless for this whole piece. Just look like it was just like forged by a Mandalorian Beskar smith. All right. So with that, though, I think we're on. It's glue time.
Great, I always come down.
You always come right in time for glue time.
Sorry.
You're good.
They're just seeing.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. Let me lift you guys up more so you can see what's going on here. So what I'm doing is I'm just marking the other side of this earpiece. So we have this line that we'll be putting it along, and we have some registration marks there of where to line that up, but I didn't mark anything on this other side. I will make sure that that gets on the pattern when I make it available for you guys. But I'm going to just use my tin and tape pattern here for now to just be able to mark kind of align where that other side ends. There we go. It at least gives me some kind of idea, so we're close. And maybe I mark this one a little bit stronger here. Okay, there we go. Okay. Everybody seeing that okay? Yeah, that's showing up on camera just fine. Guess it's upside down for you guys on Instagram though, sorry. Hey, Bromley1, what's up? I'm rooting for you on your hiccup build. That sounds awesome. Hopefully that video helps that I sent you to kind of get an idea of using FOMO to do those spike scale things on his helmet. Alright, so then this will just get glued on right there in place, and it's going to be beautiful. So what I think we'll do first is we'll glue these pieces together so they all fit nice and snug, and these seams in place so that they hold nice and tight, and then we'll come in and glue it onto the helmet here.
Captain C1 says, what college did you go to?
Did I?
Yeah.
A couple. BYU Idaho and BYU in Provo. But I didn't didn't get a degree at any of them. So.
Oh, you said you got your associate.
Oh, I got my associates in arts.
Just
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I ended up just becoming just self-taught in everything that I do now. So, but not to say.
Fun fact: he went to BYU. I went to the U.
And they're rival schools.
People like
so.
to be like, ooh. But
Yeah.
I was a theater major. Like, come on, I didn't really care. Football rivalries. And they had a way nicer theater than us, so if anything, I was just jealous.
Okay. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the hot glue gun heating up, and we're going to throw on our masks here in a second as I pour some contact cement. So I like to put them in these little squeeze bottles because it just makes it a lot easier to apply, especially on thinner pieces and that kind of stuff, and have more precision and cleaner glue jobs, so you don't have glue messes everywhere all over your foam. But unfortunately, I've put more in than I needed each time, and it's dried out up to this point, so I'm just going to add a little bit more to work with today. And I could, if I go get some, oh shoot, what was it called?
I don't know. You knew it last week.
Yeah, I forgot the name. It'll come to me, but anyway, I can get some stuff that I can mix in with this contact cement and thin it out and reuse it, but for now I don't have that, and I'm in the middle of a live stream, so I'm not going to go grab that from the store, because that would be ridiculous. So we're just going to pour some new in and use what we got. Do we have the other mask here?
I don't know, I just pulled mine out from under this pile of stuff.
I see it. All right, just a second, everybody. We got to jump under the table here for a
Buddy,
second.
you gotta go out. We're gonna paint with some stinky glue. Or we're gonna glue with some stinky glue. Can you go play with the voice?
Oh, I do have this so I can show.
No, you have to go.
So Sammy asked about using FOMO to fill gaps. So you can see here, probably would need to do another little coat, or it might be thick enough as is here, but I kind of did some big gashes in this foam just to kind of show, and I used FOMO, kind of spread it on as in kind of a paste form across there. So when it dries, it shrinks a little bit. So just like other, gap fillers and stuff, you might end up with a little bit of shrinkage. If the gap is really big, it might have kind of a little bit of a divot. You may need to try a second coat within a certain amount of time. But if you wet this surface here of the FOMO, other FOMO should stick to it pretty well. But you might run into problems with a couple layers of it. So it just kind of depends on the gap. But you can see I was able to do that, and then you can kind of sand across that and try to fill that gap. But yeah, so it does work. It's kind of takes playing around with a little bit, do some practice pieces and things like that to see just how it reacts before you maybe try it on your finished piece that you're trying to repair. But yeah, it's great stuff. Let's see. Oh, Sammy hopped on Instagram. He says YouTube is a couple seconds behind the Instagram stream. Interesting. Yeah, well, we're running the YouTube one through kind of like a software program to be able to do the different camera angles and stuff.
I find when I hop in and out that my YouTube one is behind, and I have to kind of pull it forward.
Oh, pull it forward, or sometimes you can tap that like live on the left-hand side, and it'll take you to the current point. Might have a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're just looking at some blue. So.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Foxer, welcome. What's up? Bradwick says I have some thinner for contact cement. Works fairly well. Do you have like the Barge's contact cement thinner, or is it just another brand? And then also too, I know that what's it called? It's on here. It's got to be on here, right? Naphtha. You can use naphtha to thin it. It's one of the ingredients in the contact cement too. So, but yeah, so I know that works as well. Yeah, I use weldwood as well. All right, waiting for this to heat up. While we're doing that, let's wait. I was waiting for this to heat up to kind of make myself a funnel. But if this funnel will just work without being glued together, then... So my other funnel, if you guys were on last week, kind of died. So you can kind of just use... oh, I think the hot glue might be ready. You can just kind of use some scrap foam of whatever you got, 2mm or something like that, just to kind of create your own little funnel if you want. Or I've used just like cardstock, old magazine paper kind of stuff, cardboard, whatever you got. Kind of create your own little funnel to pour it in here. Or you can just get the little squeeze bottles that come with some little funnels that you can use and save yourself the hassle of trying to do this. Okay, there we go. So I just threw a little hot glue in there just to kind of hold that together. And throw on my mask, pop this open, pour some in, and then we'll be able to glue it on. Hopefully, is this angle okay for you guys on Instagram? I'm going to move my pieces over to the side so I don't spill any glue on them. Oh yeah, that funnel works a lot better. So I don't need a ton of glue probably to do this piece, but because of all the other dried out stuff in there, I'm putting a little bit more than I need, because as this new stuff goes in, it'll start to reconstitute some of the stuff below it and become kind of tainted and become less fluid. And so I put a little bit more in than I need, just so that the top layer I have enough to be able to use before it gets too thick and gummy. I need to get me some thinner. Just a second here. Just hammering that top back on with the back of it. This is really handy for opening these. You can use the chisel side to pop it open, and then it's got a little bit of a hammer outside. What? Sammy? Thank you so much, man. Let's see it. I'm gonna switch camera angles. Thank you, man. That was so nice of you.
Thank you.
That means a lot. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate the donations, the support, the super chats like that. It makes a huge difference, so thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, man. You guys are awesome. Now, in making the earpiece for Mando Helmet, it's turning out great. Thanks for the video. Or now I'm making the earpiece for Mando. Oh, sweet. Perfect. Yeah, hopefully this helps give you some ideas and everything like that. I think this is working out really well. I like the clean, all one piece look that we're getting with this, which is oftentimes one of the biggest pieces of, you know, trying to do stuff with EVA foam and that kind of thing, is trying to hide those seams, you know, because that's like, when you have those glaring seams, that's often where it's the easiest for people to tell, like, oh yeah, you did that out of EVA foam or something, you know, or that kind of thing. I feel like it's one of the big things that makes your stuff look like it just walked off the movie set, compared to, you know, like, oh yeah, you made that yourself, kind of thing. And so I like to try to hide my seams as much as I can, and I think this is a really great way to do that. So hopefully it's a handy little trick that helps you guys out. All right, shall we glue these together? So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to put some glue along these edges, and in here, and along here, and then here. Contact cement. Yes, good call. I will start with contact cement, glue all along these edges here, the insides of our groove cuts, and then we will stick them all together, lining up these edges on the bottom being the most important ones, and then folding this in at a 90-degree angle, this little tab on the top. And then from there, we will then backfill with hot glue once these are in position where they need to be, just to kind of reinforce that and help hold this really sharp angle and not have it fade over time or anything like that if the contact cement starts to kind of pull away. But then that way we also have the contact cement and hot glue, so the just, you know, reinforced hold and can handle different temperature climates and that kind of stuff too. So if it was just hot glue, it could melt and fall apart. If it was just contact cement, it might just deteriorate over time and lose a little bit of your bend. With the two, should be good.
Sammy says, just wait till next Friday.
Oh my goodness. Sammy, I am like, I have no
We're
idea. I'm
We're
like,
nervous.
like, I'm like, I have no idea what to even expect, but I am like really excited to see what you have in store for the way you've been building it up. So,
Bradwick has a question.
oh, okay. If it's not too personal, in honor of Valentine's Day, what was the most fun, memorable date you two have been on? I don't know, probably your birthday thing, right?
Where I flew a plane.
Yeah.
I got to fly a plane. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think that would probably be.
That's
Let's see,
funny
as
because
soon
I
as you guys
was
have to
like,
talk
I
to us.
don't know. I was like, when we walked Google Earth and went
Yeah,
to
that was
France,
pretty sweet.
I told him I was taking him to France, but then we were poor. We are poor. No, I should say that. We can't just get up and go to France, is what I'm trying to say. But we...
She printed off, like, tickets kind of thing or whatever, and then we kind of pretend like, we were going on a trip and
Well, I bought
Go ahead.
Oh, anyway, I just set up Google Earth on the TV, and then we,
Mhm.
walked around France. Oh, your live recording is paused.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, anyway, and I bought, pastries and stuff to go with it. But
Yeah.
flying the airplane is much cooler than that.
But that was way awesome too. I love that. It was so funny because I would tell her about how they'd always they'd have strikes all the time. That you'd be late for an appointment or something like that or whatever, and you're like, sorry, there was a strike, the trains weren't going, and they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's it's kind of like the catch-all excuse, oh yeah, the bus got stopped, there was a strike. And so when we were walking through on Google Earth, there's actually in one part of Paris there was a strike going on, and so it was really fitting.
It was really funny.
But yeah, anyway, that, and then I had a friend that owned a plane and had a pilot that I was able to get connections with, and she'd always wanted to fly a plane and wants to get her pilot's license and stuff. And so for her birthday, I coordinated being able to go up in the plane, and I just thought we were just going to get to go up and she could sit in the front and be cool and everything. But once we got up, he actually let her
Yeah.
fly it and stuff. It was cool.
Very cool. I was very conservative with it, and then I let him take over. And I'm like, okay, now do crazy things because I was too nervous to do them. But
yeah,
and I didn't have to land or anything like that. But I did get to steer.
Taxi on the runway a little bit.
Taxi on the runway, which was crazy.
Kind of steer a little bit. But
that was fun.
Yeah, great question. All right, let's glue these up. Do you want to transition out that,
yes.
and then we will switch camera angles?
Again, Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy. I'm so excited to see what happens next week. It's going to be crazy.
But no pressure to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so part of why Sammy's doing that, next week's my birthday. So he's got something crazy planned. Hey, Manson26, I think that's April. We've got April on the Instagram stream as well.
Hi, my friend.
Are you guys...
says he's going to steal the Google Earth and get the food from the place, and you can, eat it while you walk around.
Yeah.
It was so fun, and then
It was way fun.
when we saw the Eiffel Tower, I was like, oh, look, there's the Eiffel Tower, and I forgot that I wasn't really there for a minute.
Yeah,
you can put it up on your TV, and then it's, immersive.
Yeah, you throw it all big up on the TV, and it's
when you have
you're
kids
kind of
and you can't
there.
leave them all the time.
Yeah.
Especially right now, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know, if you have a VR headset, I think you could do Google Earth on VR now too.
Ooh.
Which would be even more immersive, but,
Yeah,
but then you're not
I want to be eating.
then you can't really be eating and seeing each
Is
other.
it a date if you're not eating something?
All right, here we go. So, so as we were saying, we're going to use contact cement, glue up all these edges here on just these inside edges that we're going to be gluing together. We'll do these in a second once we're ready to glue it onto the helmet, but we'll get all these pieces glued together first. Ready, set, go. Hey, we got somebody commented on Instagram. Hey, y'all. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, Hellfire.
Alright, here we go. So, nice thing with these, this is the back side of the foam, so you don't have to be quite as clean and precise and everything. I'm just going to cut myself a little piece of scrap foam to spread this glue with. So you kind of just get the contact cement down in there, and then just spread it thin inside. I probably put way too much, so I can take some of it, put it into these other ones as well.
Have you mentioned our Discord at all?
Oh yeah. Hey, for any of you new guys, new people joining, or people that are haven't been on when we've talked about it before, we have a Discord server now. Cosplay Apprentice cosplay community on Discord. We have a link in the description of the live stream here on YouTube. If you guys want to join, there's an invite there for you to be able to join. It's super fun. We've got some chats to kind of show off the stuff you're working on. We've got some areas just to kind of hang out and chat with the community. We have a section for questions and that kind of stuff if you have questions on a build or whatnot. And the cool thing about Discord is, like, on there, you know, you can post pictures along with your chat. You can hop onto a voice chat channel and be able to talk through something with somebody. And inside the voice chat channels, it allows you to be able to share screen. You can do video as well. So if you do have like questions and whatnot, it's a lot easier to kind of show, hey guys, this is what I'm working on, and I'm kind of stuck here, that kind of thing. And so tons of fun. If you guys haven't already, check it out. Join us on there. We'd love to have you. And it allows us to kind of all continue to hang out throughout the week and see what people are working on. And we'll drop, like, you know, some announcements and stuff in there occasionally, as well as on the other socials too. So anyway, hope to see you guys on there. If you're a patron, if you connect your Discord, you'll automatically get access to our patrons only lounge, which is kind of like this, like, you know, VIP room to be able to hang out in. So that's fun as well. If you guys are interested in our Patreon, we try to provide as much value as we can to you guys. You actually get access to all the patterns I've ever made or will make. Early access to any new ones coming out. So like this Mandalorian one, we'll give early access to the our patrons before the video comes out with this pattern, making it available for everyone else. And all the patterns I've ever made in there. We've got all of the Wonder Woman ones, all the Hiccup ones, so Hiccup's helmet, chest plate, pauldrons, any of the other Hiccup ones I come out with, the Wonder Woman tiara, vambrace, headband, armband, and the Gold Eagle helmet.
Oh, it's James Allen that was jumped on there.
Oh, okay. Is everybody like on both?
I've been jumping from one to the other just to see how it looks. I mean, now that I have yours in front of me, I don't have to, but... Sammy says, Skylar, I tried to get into the Patreon VIP lounge, but it wouldn't let me on Discord. Did you connect your Discord to Patreon, or your Patreon to Discord?
We'll yeah, if you can answer that, and then also we'll look into that. Do you want to message Christian and just ask him to take a look and make sure that the patron boss ones are connected properly too? I mean, it should be everybody on Patreon for the Discord thing, but...
I think what Christian would say was make sure you're connected, because I think Sammy was already on Discord with us before he joined us at Patreon.
Yeah. Yeah, so either way, if we need to give you just manual access, we know you're a patron, Sammy, so we can do that. If it's not letting you connect, or if you did connect it on Patreon, connect your Discord account to it, then just let us know. We can just add you manually. Okay. Here we go. So I think this piece is ready. Let me just make sure I've got the right camera angles for you guys. High Tech Geek 318, what's up, my fellow geeks? Not much. How are you? And we also got Wes. Hey, Wes Judd, how you doing, man? Yeah, we're doing good, High Tech Geek. How are you? Alright, we're going to glue together the earpieces here. I think this one's ready to go. Just checking the glue. When working with contact cement, you want to make sure that you give it time to dry. You place your contact cement on both sides of the pieces you're gluing, and then you let it dry. It should be, you can hear kind of a little bit of tack when you touch it, but nothing comes off on your finger. That's how you know it's ready. If you do thin coats, it doesn't take too long to dry. What we want to focus on for gluing this piece together is these edges and these registration marks here. We want to get these as tight as possible first, and that's also going to determine the angle that this sits at. So before we zero that in, we want to make sure that these edges are done first. So I'm just going to make sure that that is lining up all along this edge here, and then press that together nice and tight, and then do the same along this edge here. Okay, so now with that, we kind of pressed in this inside piece here as part of that process in getting that pressed in. And now we can also shore up these grooves here with the contact cement, kind of pinching along this line here that we made to really get that contact cement to stick kind of right in the corner. Now we may not have it be sticking all the way along the edge, but we want to make sure that that gets nice and tight, a good clean line right along there where we want that bent metal look, right? So then from there, we have that nice tight line, crisp line there, and the angle that goes from there. The rest of the way is going to be determined by, you know, this, and then we'll fold this piece in at a 90-degree there. Okay, so then we can kind of test fit that on the helmet and just make sure that it looks like it's lining up with our lines on either side there. So there's our registration marks on this side we can line up with, and then we're pretty close to that line on that side, so I think we are looking good.
Can you kind of flip?
Yeah, cool. So yeah, that looks pretty awesome. We're gonna roll with that.
It's 1 o'clock, 1:05. How long do you want to go?
And let's just glue this piece on so you guys can see what that looks like, and then we will get the other one on off camera.
James said he just had jumped to see the difference between live time.
Oh, okay. It's like, is everyone enjoying the Instagram platform more, or just let me know what you guys want.
I think it takes me aback when I jump on Instagram and it's like, Olivia's joined the stream, and
I
I'm like,
know.
I wanted to be here quietly.
I know, I'm sorry if I've called you guys out. High Tech Geek, I love your work, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, I've got this in the way. Thanks for tuning in. My data just shut down, so now I'm watching on Instagram. Whoops. cool. So there's our two earpieces. Oh man, that looks just so good and crisp. Like, that's awesome. Cool.
So did you hot glue them? Did I miss that?
Oh yeah. I did not hot glue them yet. So once we have them sitting nice and flush and lined up where we want it and good seams and everything, I'm just going to backfill this with some hot glue all along these just to keep them to hold, keep that contact cement holding strong. And because we cut a little bit more of a groove than we really needed on these because they weren't going as steep of an angle as I thought for this undergroove, just kind of backfilling the little bit of a gap that remained there afterwards. So just kind of flip this over and hold it all nice and in place while that hot glue sets up and cools. You guys, I'm super excited about how that looks. That looks great.
I like how the back of it's like looks terrible. And like, this looks amazing.
Yeah. The back definitely, you know, rule lesson 101 cosplay. Doesn't matter what the back looks like as long as the front looks amazing.
The inside.
Yeah, on the inside, yeah. What the inside looks like.
Doesn't matter what's on the inside.
When it comes to costumes
Heard
and
it
props.
here first.
When it comes to costumes and props. Oh. Alright, cool. Let's see. Okay, here we go, guys. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to apply the glue. What I'm going to do is actually, and I need to see if this needs to change on the pattern or if I actually like the way it looks, if it looks accurate, or if we need to extend the length a little bit. So once we add this fold and some of the cuts and everything we did, this might end up going a little bit shorter than we anticipated because that's where we marked our line. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. That's where we marked our line, but it comes a little bit shy of that. And so we might actually, for now, I'm just going to kind of remark an outline of where this is going to go. So that we know where to glue. But that'll be something I need to look at on the pattern, or because once again, the nice thing about this is our test to see how the pattern works and if it looks good and everything. And then I can make adjustments to the pattern as we go. So this will be, we'll see if that looks accurate or if I need to extend the length of these little legs on this to make it just a little bit wider. But I think it's going to look good. So let's go with that. And I'm going to throw my mask on real quick. We'll throw some glue on here and along the edges here. And we'll get this glued on. Show you guys what it looks like. Fam in Cosplay Studios. Hail, hail. How's it going? We're just about to glue on the earpiece here on the Mandalorian helmet out of EVA Foam. It's looking pretty good. We're going to glue on the side earpiece here, so you're just in time. Glad to have you. Let's turn this like this so we can see what's going on here. Good on camera angle for you guys on YouTube as well. Hey, Frightline777, welcome. Missed the majority of it, no worries. you're here for the fun part where you see the earpiece come on. We're just about to glue it onto the helmet, so here it goes. I'm just going to put it all along the edge here where we did these. And on this little piece here. Nice thin coats of the contact cement. Okay, and then on the helmet here, I'm going to apply some just along the edge of where we drew. Oh, cool, bud.
And new Hyrule Castle, your sword glows, and
Oops.
and we'll kneel it, and
It's glowing.
and our map is now Hyrule Castle.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, we just watched Dan go into the castle.
Oh boy, I'm sad I missed that cutscene.
I got another memory.
Cool. They're playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Alright. So now I'm just applying a second thin coat. I like to do 2 thin coats just to make sure that the foam takes the glue and has the contact cement on there properly. Oh, I'm blocking everything with this, sorry guys. Just because foam sometimes will absorb a little bit of the first layer, and so I like to just do a second coat just to make sure that it's coated properly and that it's not eating it up. So here we go. I'll just do a quick second coat here. So, I mean, the idea is trying to avoid getting glue where we don't need it, but making sure we got enough coverage where we do. Okay. Here we go. Oh, gotta be careful not to set it into the other piece. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit for you guys here. I think on YouTube we're good on the angle there. And here is the moment of truth. We're gonna glue on this earpiece, and I think this will call it for our stream today once we get this glued on. So I've got my registration marks here, and I've got them on here. So part of that trick will be getting all those to line up properly. There we go. Okay. And then this bottom edge technically should line up with the bottom here. This just line up straight down.
Dad, Everett killed a pony.
Oh no. Okay. Alright, I'm still on the live stream, guys, so I'll be in a second. I can see what you guys are
We
doing.
teleported out.
Okay, cool.
Well, we can get there whenever we want. Well, not. We can get there whenever we want. Not.
Okay. Alright, sorry if I went off frame there, guys, for a second. So there we go. How's that look? See it from the front. Starting to get that width on the side that we need to have come up. And then we can kind of just place this other one roughly in place so you can see. Yeah, I think that's looking good. Anyway, what do you guys think? Switch camera angles here and switch up to this. Got a couple more people on here. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Thanks for joining. All right. Well, I think we are getting there. James Allen says, I even use 2 coats. I use barge. Yeah, I think just doing 2 coats is a good way to go. Make sure that you get plenty of, hold, that you're not having part of it just kind of absorb into the foam and not get a full connection across the whole surface area. But, yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's probably hard to see on camera. Maybe if I switch to the other camera angle, but I'll show it here. So there's that tiny little lip right there that we created with that extra cut that just kind of has it kind of raise up a little bit on its own before it starts taking that slope. Let me see if I can show that on this camera angle as well here. I think this is the best spot to be able to kind of see that right here. So it has just that tiny little lip where it just kind of sticks up a little bit before it starts to come up, and I think we accomplished that pretty well with that extra little cut we did on the end after cutting the bevel. So yeah, it turned out great. Amazes me how you are so good at making things. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, there we go. That's the first part of the earpiece. Now, we cut out at the beginning this little like horseshoe looking thing. Let me just kind of show you guys briefly where that'll go. and then we'll go ahead and just kind of finish up the stream here. But show you how this will work. And already I can tell you I'm going to need to play with this one some more because it is not... It won't line up properly where we need it to. So again, this was done in with the thought of, you know, hey, if you're already getting these different you know, thicknesses of foam to do the majority of the helmet kind of thing, no sense adding more thicknesses of foam that you have to go get just for one little piece here like this. And so the idea is that we can create the thickness, the depth of the foam, make it look thicker and be kind of seamless and everything by just wrapping the foam around on itself a little bit here with some kind of, you know, origami essentially in a sense, but doing it with the foam. And just kind of gluing it to itself to create a little horseshoe box that's a little bit thicker. And then I'll show you guys. Hi Tech Geek 318, loving this tutorial. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad I did the Instagram live as well today. So then this, obviously it's not holding itself in the right place properly right now because it would be all glued together. But essentially then this horseshoe piece will just go in and glue in sitting right on top of this and be you know, more hollow on the inside, but still sturdy with kind of creating this little horseshoe box. And then that way you're not having to get, you know, like this is what, this is like a little over a ½ inch thick foam. Having to try to deal with different densities and getting you know, buying all new thickness of foam in a big roll or in a big sheet or anything like that, just to get these two pieces, which you definitely can do. That'll be an option as well. So you would just take just this top piece and just, you know, cut just that out and trace it onto your thick foam and do that, and then just glue that in here all in one piece. But if you have the thinner foam you just want to make work for it, that you've been using for most of the other helmet, the 4mm, you could just do this. This might even work with just doing the 2mm too. But so anyway, that's kind of the idea behind that little horseshoe piece that's going to go in there. And then there's the last little bit of it that I have to still finish patterning out. That'll go up here. So anyway, there we go. Cool, cool. Oh, we got a bunch more people like tuning in right here at the end. How are we doing over on YouTube? We got Tigerly Arts saying hello, and April saying awesome looking. Thank you. Frightline says, what do I think? I can't wait till the plans are available. Yeah, and then Tigerly Arts, thanks for liking my costume pictures. Yeah, that's turning out really cool with those dragon scale things. And then Foxer says, awesome, helmet's great, yay, hello. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm super excited about how that's coming together. I don't know how, let me switch camera angles here on YouTube. Nope, I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. Anyway, yeah, it's looking really awesome. It was really fun to do the thumbnail for the YouTube live stream and see this right next to an Anovos helmet. And I think we're doing really well on the pattern, because when I saw the outline of this next to the Anovos helmet, it's looking like practically spot on. Like it's hard to notice the differences, and which is awesome, because just kind of you know, eyeballed this, free-handed it, you know, did some like scale measurements and stuff like that on reference pictures and whatnot. But I think the pattern's going to turn out and make a really cool Mandalorian helmet. So yeah, this is looking great. Getting those earpieces in, starting to add on the depth on the side is makes a big difference. And we got the kind of the venting pieces in that worked really well last week on the live stream, and we'll continue to build out this earpiece as we go. But yeah, looking awesome. I'm excited to get this out to you guys as well and make the pattern available. As soon as we get this all tested out and make sure it works, then I'll make it available to the patrons, to our patrons on Patreon, and then after that I'll get the video filmed and get it out to everyone else. So pretty awesome. Super excited. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for those that did the super chat on YouTube. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. It makes a huge difference. So grateful to you guys. And thanks for everyone that tuned in on Instagram. This is my first time kind of simultaneously streaming to YouTube and Instagram. And hopefully that worked okay. I'm just doing it from my phone, so I kind of have to try to point the camera wherever we need it. I've got on YouTube, I have kind of more of the multi-camera setup. So if you guys want to in the future, join us on there, or I'll probably keep doing the Instagram live stream as well, and just do them both simultaneously. But thank you so much. Frightline777 says, the best looking build I have seen, the best. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to get this pattern out there for you guys. Just like the combination of this pattern and using What the Foam, it's going to be a great, sturdy Mandalorian helmet that's nice and thin, really realistic armor thickness and everything like that, and it holds its shape super well. So I'm super excited to get this in your guys' hands and see all the cool Mandalorian helmets that everybody makes with it. So
Sorry, I disappear.
you're good. I'm just finishing up. You have anything to say?
No, I just wanted to say bye, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And just jump on the Discord. We hop on every once in a while.
Yeah.
And chat.
Yeah. So as far as people here on Instagram, giving them the Discord link, I don't know if maybe we add it to the link tree.
Oh yeah. We'll add it to Linktree.
So yeah.
Just in our in our bio. If you
Yeah.
head to our bio.
Yeah. If you go to our bio on Instagram, I'm adding the Discord link in there right now, so that you guys can join us there too. Copy that, and then, huh?
I was just making a box sound.
Oh, let me add that real quick, and then, so let's see, how do I, add new link, Discord.
Have a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's, everybody. And here's the link. There we go. And get rid of that one. Okay, cool. So that should be showing up there now. We have the link to Discord in our link tree on there on Instagram. If you just go to our bio page, go to our profile, go to our bio, click that link, that'll take you there, and you can get the Discord link and join our community over on Discord. Super fun, great group of people hanging out, chatting throughout the week, sharing their projects and everything. Super awesome. So yeah, thank you all so much. You guys are amazing.
This is looking great.
I'll catch you guys in the next live stream next week. We do this every Friday, same time, 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, so you can do the math wherever you're at from that. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week, and in the meantime, cosplay on, my friends. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. See you next week.
Bye.
Oh, now I'm gonna like have a long pause in between while we do this. Strike a pose. Hey, see ya. And